All right, welcome back. Do remember that our focus today is still on the town of Knysna in the Western Cape, and how, of course, it is recovering from the devastation of fires that swept through the area about a month ago. But further along the garden route towns like your Plettenberg Bay, the area was also affected by fires. Let us just find out how the area looks like now. We are joined by a reporter in that area, Nomawethu Solwandle. Nomawethu, Molosis.
Well, a very good morning to you, Palisa. Indeed, we are coming to you live here in Plettenberg Bay, here in the Southern Cape. Now, Palisa, when we talk about the fires that we saw in Knysna, we often focus on the devastation that we saw in Knysna. But in fact, the fires did spread to other neighboring towns such as Plettenberg Bay. Now, we saw houses gutted here, people were displaced, and businesses were very much affected as well. Now, this morning, we're here to talk to the people, organizations, as well as leadership to find out how does a small town such as Plettenberg Bay, whose backbone is primarily tourism, rise from the ashes and continue from a crisis such as this one. Now, joining me now to tell us more about this is the municipal manager in the Bitou municipality, Mr. Thabo Ndlovu. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Just tell us how Plettenberg Bay itself was affected by the fires.
Good morning. The municipality was extremely affected by these fires as well. We had about 300 families that were displaced because of this fire. We had businesses that were affected. We had the forest industry that was affected. The tourism industry was as well affected to a certain extent. One of our five-star establishments, for instance, was gutted down. But also there were houses actually that were burnt down. Over 100 houses were burnt down. We also saw informal settlements actually that were affected not only by the fire, by the way, but also by the winds, that were there because of the Cape Storm that came on the 7th of June. However, the people of Bitou came out in numbers. They volunteers, they opened their houses to actually accommodate those that were directly affected by the storm. We had help from national departments, provincial departments, and it's been amazing in that we are able now, through working together, to actually start to rise from the impact of this devastation.
Now, Mr. Ndlovu, as I said earlier, this part of the country is very much helped out by tourism. How do we then move on from the crisis that we had in the past weeks?
We told ourselves actually that we will not stop. We gave a message out there to our local tourists, that is domestic tourists, and to the international tourists, that actually Plettenberg Bay is open for business. Currently we are having a Plet Arts Festival, and we have seen actually the numbers of people that have come through to this festival, which show actually that people have listened to our call, they've sympathized with us, and they felt that actually life in Plettenberg Bay has to go back to normal. But it is going to take some time for our industry to be, where it was previously, but working together with all the stakeholders. We have Plet Tourism, which is a local association that specializes in tourism. We've been working together with them to ensure actually that we put measures in place that will build actually our tourism industry again.
Now, very quickly, Mr. Ndlovu, before we wrap this up, you talk about Arts Festival. We know that the Oyster Festival is also starting today. It's all very good and well that we have these festivals going on so that the economy can be built up again. But how do we bring the sense of community and the sense that we can still continue from all those people that they've lost their homes? People have nothing. Others don't even have jobs. How do we then bring these festivals to ensure that the people that live in these areas also benefit?
That is important actually, because the impact of these fires were both psychological and emotional. So it is important that we use events like this to make sure actually that people feel the life of normality. they feel that actually the jobs that they've lost, they can have some opportunities, even if it is for a short while, to actually get back to their feet. So these festivals, actually, one of the key elements of them is that they are rooted within the communities of these areas. They give job opportunities to these communities. They also, give opportunities to young people to participate in this festival, so that they use this festival as a way of healing as well from this kind of devastation.
Well, thank you very much for your time. That was the municipal manager here in the Bitou municipality, telling us more how a town like Plettenberg Bay is actually going to rise from the ashes and continue. He says it's business as usual. As I said earlier, the Oyster Festival starts today. They're also going to have an arts festival here in Plet to give people that sense of togetherness. Now we go to Valen for sport in Johannesburg.